I now invite Ruth Benson to share our reading from Rebecca Ann Parker.
Choose to bless the world. Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, waiting. Any of these can serve to feed the hungry, bind up wounds, welcome the stranger, praise what is sacred, do the work of justice, or offer love. Any of these can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, obscure the holy, comply with injustice, or withhold love. You must answer this question. What will you do with your gifts? Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. There is an embrace of kindness that encompasses all life, even yours. And while there is injustice, anesthetization, or evil, there moves a holy disturbance of benevolent rage, a revolutionary love, protesting, urging, insisting that which is sacred will not be defiled. Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks for this beauty and this rage. The choice to bless the world can take you into solitude to search for the sources of power and grace, native wisdom, healing, and liberation. More, the choice will draw you into community, the endeavor shared, the heritage passed on, the companionship of struggle, the importance of keeping faith, the life of ritual and praise, the comfort of human friendship, the company of earth, the chorus of life welcoming you. None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility, waiting.
Thank you for that beautiful reading. For those who have gotten to know me over the years, you may notice I like to use a phrase, many blessings. In fact, it's the signature in almost all of my emails. And sometimes it makes it seem like I'm some sort of 19th century novelist trying to be Jane Austen. And I know it kind of feels a little antiquated in some ways. But I really love to use the word blessing, especially when I think about our Unitarian Universalist perspective of what it means to bless and what a blessing is. You see, for so long, there's this connotation that to bless is some sort of sanctified process that is away from daily living. And yes, it is meant to be something holy and set apart from in some ways, but it's a human action, one that's available to anyone. A process recognizing the worth, the sacredness of the people and the things around us. It is holy work, but holy work of the hands and hearts of everyday people doing everyday things. When I say blessing, sometimes it can mean friendship, love, may you be supported, may you be cared for, intangible objects. But sometimes it also means very tangible objects. The softest blanket in the world that my wife bought me. The can of ginger ale someone got me from the street. Beautiful flowers that people gave me yesterday. Real objects of the ways that we are interdependent and care for each other. We have the evidence all around us in our lives if we look closely. And it is our human ability to recognize that we are dependent, that we live off of the love and the support, off of the food and the water, of the dependence of others in our world around us, that gives us the power to bless. It is a human action and perspective. And it's one that we can use to empower each other to bless. I've needed this reminder lately, mainly because things look radically different to be a religious community in 2020. And I know this is not the way I had ever envisioned when I was first preaching at this church 3 years ago, that I would start a church season off of. Lately, when I've been frustrated by yet another frozen web page, or the limits of technology, or even my feelings of powerlessness in the face of just so much that's happening around us, I remember the histories of countless people who decided against all odds to practice their faith and bless each other anyway. There are people throughout history, and we have the evidence, who have had a life experience so much more worse than mine. Even when I think about the collective Unitarian Universalist denomination, we've not been a faith, at least in the United States, that's been systemically persecuted. Even though we've had moments of heresy in the past with our Christian brethren from the 1600s Reformation movement, or even though we've been heretical and on the side of change throughout history, we've not been systemically oppressed. But we know of people who have. We see anti-Semitism on the rise today. We see Islamophobia across the United States. We know what it's like to have faith be something that's marked as something to oppress or restrict. And yet we have the evidence of people who throughout history decided to practice their faith anyway, to bless each other anyway, and who, despite all of the odds, found ways for the next generation to survive. And I'm not saying this in some theoretical, historical sense. I'm talking about real, tangible things. I'd like us to think for a moment on these things. Think of the Buddhist prayer book that was found in a Japanese internment camp. Think of the rosaries carried by migrants across the border. Think of the eagle feathers carried by Native American elders on the Trail of Tears, who passed them down to their children and grandchildren. Think of that famous photo of the menorah in the window of a home across from a Nazi flag. We have artifacts that have survived through history, just as generations that would come after these people did. Artifacts that are symbols of our pure human power to resist and our power to bless each other, no matter what. To say prayers, to hold things as holy and meaningful and worthy, to show gratitude and humility. Forces of white supremacy, of oppression, of ethnic cleansing could not stop these people of faith or their descendants. Cultures survived, faith survived, and gave these real, tangible blessings to the next generation in their homes and in their communities. I will never know in my lifetime, I think, the full devastation of that trauma these other communities have experienced. But I do know how important it is to bless each other anyway. Rebecca Ann Parker tells us to choose to bless the world. There are many forces in our world right now that help us feel powerless, limited, and afraid. Forces that would love you to feel stuck, like you can't do a lot. And they're real. The realities of our economy are real. The realities of the wild spread of wildfires across California, they are real. The devastation of hurricanes and the reality of this pandemic. There are so many forces at our doorstep. This dual pandemic of systemic racism and coronavirus. But there is a power that no society, no natural force, no human force can ever take away. Not even death can touch it. And that is our human power to bless each other, to celebrate love after 30 years anyway, to dance with each other anyway, to make food in our homes, to serve people, to persist and to protest and fight for justice, to delight in life, to honor the dead, to marry our children, to find ourselves in this, even in our infinite human smallness, still loved, still alive, and still filled with blessing. And I see it here in our community too. Whether it's in the massed social distance walks in nature, or the phone calls shared between members, or the struggling to get on the Zoom call for the committee meeting, whether it's in the cards written, or the food given, or the ideas shared, whether it's in the sketches and drawings that our RA children have done, or the testimonies of our youth from OWL last year, or the countless flowers in our flower ceremony, we are still making community together, even now. And yes, it's different, and yes, it's hard, but we're doing it. And it's beautiful. These are just a few examples of the grace, of the love and power we have to care for each other. Our world right now desperately needs people who choose to bless each other and who choose to bless the world. Those who gather in community no matter what forms it takes, who practice faith and harness our collective call for justice. A community that aims to heal, is humble enough to recognize that we will make mistakes and even have harm committed, but strong enough to grow together through whatever may be to come. We need these communities. We need a faith, whatever beliefs you may have, one that engages in the questions of life, one that cares and names the things of our lives as holy and beautiful, and one who we know can last generations and change lives not only for ourselves, but those who come after us. For it is these choices, the choice to bless the world, that can create the world we dream of, even now. The choice to bring light and hope and heart to the world. And we've seen the evidence of people who have faced so much worse, who found ways to continue to bless the world and be themselves. So who will you bless? How will you live in a way that reclaims the holy work of grace, of gratitude, of care, and living with mystery and purpose? You are a blessing to this world. It is you who decides how to bless it. For Rebecca Ann Parker says, none of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting. Thank you.